Now, this is an update as well as a breaking news about the two Kenyan activists that were abducted in Uganda. I'm sure you are in the know of Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo, the leaders of the Free Kenyan movement that came to Uganda, visit Bobiwine, standing in solidarity with his cause, and then they were abducted on the 1st of October, and since then, no one knows their whereabouts. Now, there is a human rights defender or activist who came out with information regarding where these two are being detained back here in Uganda and their current status. Then also a group of Kenyan activists 2 days ago protested. They staged a protest outside the Ugandan embassy in Kenya. Anyway, there are lots and lots of updates surrounding this case. Like I always tell you, I'll always give you an update surrounding this case until these two, that's Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo, are released, because they committed no single crime whatsoever. Let's start with this activist, with the information regarding where they're being detained, because it's very, very important.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with KTN Prime. A human rights activist now claims she has reliable information about the exact location of activist Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo, who are allegedly being held in Kampala, Uganda. The activists have been missing for a month now, as Marion Barasa details.
Now, that is the human rights
activist now claims she has information regarding the whereabouts of activist Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo, who have been missing for a month. The activist claims the duo are being detained at the Mbuya military barracks in Kampala, Uganda, a facility reportedly notorious for torture, disappearances and human rights abuses, given Uganda's documented history of such crimes.
Now, you heard very well. They are being detained in Mbuya military barracks. There she speaks.
Reliable sources have told us that they are being held at the Mbuya military barracks in Kampala. We understand that this is a place that is renowned for torture, disappearances, and horrendous treatment to all of those who are held within those facilities.
The human rights defender father alleges that last week she received reports that both men were in a very poor state, with their health condition worsening.
Nicholas Oyoo and Bob Njagi are in very poor physical condition and were allegedly deteriorating, with claims which are very believable, that they had been tortured to the point of being unconscious, although this has not been verified, and we remain optimistic.
The recent information contradicts the Uganda People's Defense Forces official statement on the disappearances of the two activists, explicitly denying custody after claiming to have investigated all detention facilities and registers. We have,
of course, to expound more,
carried out investigations and searched all relevant detention centers, including lock-up registers, custody records, and found no entry relating to the said Nicholas Oyoo and Bob Njagi between October 1st, 2025 till date.
Now, of course, that is a lie, because the president of the Kenyan Law Society, together with his team, they conducted, of course, their own investigation and found out that these two entered Uganda via the Busia border. Of course, the Uganda People's Defense Force, that's the UPDF, which actually came out recently, denied having these two. Like I always tell you guys, it will not come out and claim responsibility. The same applies to police. It as well cannot come out and claim responsibility. They are going to deny, just like they have denied. But when you listen to Harvey,
now the information that we have is that on the 1st of October, Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo exited and entered Uganda. This is documented because we've seen the exit stamp from Kenya on their passport and the entry stamp in Uganda in their passports. So there can be no denying these two individuals are in Uganda, dead or alive. But credible information we have is that they are alive, because they were seized and taken by the Ugandan military intelligence. They were at Kaliro district in eastern Uganda, in broad daylight, taken by armed men. One of their colleagues, Kofi Atinda, managed to escape and was able to see what happened. Intelligence also indicates that these two, Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo, are being held in a non-gazetted facility called Mbuya in Kampala. That far is much known. Now, the judge rightfully, upon being given this information on the affidavit of Kofi Atinda, directed the government of the Republic of Uganda to produce this two in court. Now, on the return date, the Republic of Uganda indicated that it doesn't know the whereabouts of these two and that it has checked in all gazetted facilities and cannot trace the two.
But they are gazetted and ungazetted detention centers. So if they claim they searched in the gazetted, they should also search in the ungazetted detention centers, because fact of the matter is these two are here in Uganda. They have always denied, they denied the case of Edward Sebufu, that is the chief of security for Bobiwine. They denied having very many other comrades that as of now, they are being held in detention centers. But their arrest, they were just abducted, whisked away for days and weeks, and then later on they surfaced in court.
Of course, we know what Mbuya is. Mbuya is that detention facility where General Muwonge, the CDF of Uganda, always prides on Twitter every day that he's torturing people. Everybody knows that is the place.
Argue the Uganda People's Defense Forces denial weighs on a critical loophole, as Mbuya Military Barracks is not a gazetted official detention center. This non-gazetted status allows Ugandan officials to distance themselves from the matter, as the facility is not officially listed in registers. On October 23rd, Ugandan Justice Simon Peter Kino dismissed the habeas corpus application filed by local Ugandan lawyers for the missing individuals, stating that the court cannot squeeze blood from a stone, effectively accepting the military's denial of custody. He ruled the two men as missing persons and advised the applicants to file a formal report with the police for further investigation. Marian Barasa, KTN.
Now, I want to take you to these comrades that he protested outside the Ugandan embassy in Kenya. Of course, they were denied entry. They did not manage to go in. They had a petition. Of course, this is not the first time. It's like maybe the 50th time. Some of these subscribe to the Free Kenyan movement. Ne groups and enjawulo. Nengo mulamwa gwabe, making sure that the two get their freedom.
Weeks since the alleged abduction of Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo, two Kenyans reportedly detained in Uganda under unclear circumstances. Now, frustrated by the government's silence, activists from the RGM, KLM and Free Kenya movement staged protests outside the Ugandan embassy in Nairobi, calling for the immediate release of the duo. Demonstrators also criticized both the Kenyan and Ugandan governments for allegedly, being inactive in this matter and demanded the intervention of Kenya's ambassador to Uganda. Let's take a look.
With anger and frustration, the activists came here with a clear purpose. They intended to present their petition at the Ugandan embassy, demanding the immediate release of two Kenyans, Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo.
Hatujui mahali wako kwa sasa, so tunaomba tu William Samoei Ruto atafute vijana wetu, cause atulali na tunataka sana vijana warudi.
Addressing the media outside the Ugandan embassy, the activists insisted that the two Kenyans are being held by the Ugandan authorities and called on Uganda to release them immediately.
Kunawezaje kuwa Mkenya na abductiwa maana yuko kwa nchi nyingine na hapa Kenya watu serikali ifanyi chochote.
Their attempt to present their petition to the embassy was however thwarted when security officers blocked them at the gates.
And we won't get tired. We will not get tired until we see our comrades free. Even if it means that we will come and keep vigil here, we will do so.
Despite this, the activists have vowed not to be silent and remain committed to ensuring
These guys,
that Njagi and Oyoo return home safely.
If they do not give us answers on this issue, we will continue demonstrating. We are going back to the streets.
We shall not be intimidated. We shall fight for our rights until we get justice.
According to them, ever since the disappearance of the two Kenyans was reported, both the Kenyan and Ugandan governments have denied any abduction, despite credible sources and reports indicating that the two were taken by Ugandan security officials.
Kuambia our government recall the ambassador of Kenya to Uganda.
It is now 36 days since the alleged abduction of Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo in Uganda, and the activists vow to keep pushing until justice is served.
but I think comrades in Kenya are not doing enough about this issue. That I have to say. I think they are not doing enough. We expected more than this. Abana Kenya tubamanyidde mu ngeri yakubeera brave, yakubeera aggressive, yakubeera nga waliwo ene issue, especially kwatagana ku munakenya munnaabwe. Nze ngamba kano kankogere na mu Luganda tebakoze kimala. Yeah, they still needed to do more than just this. Mazima. Kubanga mabegako wali basinya ku kyokubeera nti bakulozinga border Busia ne Malaba. Ekyo ne bakisinyako ne bagamba actually Nelson Havi, the former president of the Law Society of Kenya, yavayo n'engombe eyo nti basaleko ama businesses gabana Uganda bali Kenya, basaleko Busia border, then basaleko Malaba border. In brief, by intensifying pressure on both sides, because there is too much silence ku side ya Kenya ya Ruto ne side ene ya Museveni ku nsonga eno. Kati nga bagaba banaakola ekyo agawalayi maybe the two parties bajja kutula wansi ensonga eno bagisalira amagezi bate Nicholas Oyoo wamu ne Bob Njagi. Naye otuluka kaseera kano ng'ekyo tekinakolebwa. Ofunamu okola ki? Okwennyamira n'obuuza nti pressure igenda kuva kuki abantu bano okubeera nga bateebwa. Kwa mujjukire bulungi nti nno eno government ya Museveni ewulira ka pressure. Ewulira ka pressure koka. Tebayina lulimi lwabwe lwe bawulira okujjako pressure. Kati nze ng'abana Kenya bano tebakoze kimala. They still need to do more than just this. Bayina okukola wakatiisa. Otherwise, these two comrades bayinza okuvanishinga just like that forever. Ne tutaddamu kubalabako. Kisoboka bulungi mukyala ku John Bosco Kibalama mukyala we yagenze kufa nga taddanga mulabako 6 years down the road. We've never seen him again. That's John Bosco Kibalama. The top picture actually you see there. The second from top. Yeah. Yabulawo enaku z'omwezi zaali 3 mwezi gwali gwa June mwaka gwa 2019. Paka kati mukyala we yafudde jo ng'omusajja we taddanga mu mulabako. So kiyinza okutuuka ne ku bana abaami singa tewabeerawo kikolebwa kimala. Naye anyway, amawulire go nga mugawulidde, at least there is proof that they are still alive, only that they've gone through severe torture, and their health condition continues to deteriorate every now and then, of which ekyetaagisa kubeera nti babayimbula bagende babeere bafuna obujjanjabi n'okubeera nti bateebwa because tebalina musango nagumu gwe bakola. Anyway, that's the update I had for you about this issue today, and in case of any other update I will still come and I give it to you. This is the JB Muwonge Talk Show. I spread this message. Peace and love.